Saúl Canelo Álvarez is universally regarded as one of the greatest boxers of his generation. Known for his powerful body shots, quick reflexes, and defensive mastery, Canelo's rise from the streets of Guadalajara to the pinnacle of global boxing stardom is one of the most remarkable stories in sports history. But how good was Canelo in his prime?
Right on the chin, just as you said it, he's been susceptible in the early going. He was hit right on the chin by Saúl Canelo Álvarez, and down he went. How about that?
To understand this, we need to explore the defining moments of his career.
A painful experience, I still say to this day, I'm still on 2 paracetamol a day.
Never going to give up.
But his legs are not there. This time, I don't think he's getting up.
Wow. Finding him with that body shot and that pain.
His 50th fight ends in a world championship.
Focusing on his rapid ascent, technical evolution, and battles against the best in multiple weight divisions. Canelo's story begins in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Here, he was born in 1990 into a large family of 7 brothers, most of whom took up boxing. However, it was Saúl who would emerge as the true prodigy. He began boxing at the age of 13 and quickly turned professional at just 15. By then, Canelo was already showing signs of the ferocity and discipline that would define his career. Even as a teenager, his talent for mixing powerful punches with intelligent defense helped him stand out in the Mexican boxing scene. Under the tutelage of Chepo and Eddie Reynoso, Canelo honed his craft. His early bouts in Mexico saw him fight regularly and earn a reputation for his toughness and knockout power. From the start, Canelo was more than just a brawler. He had a natural boxing IQ, allowing him to pick his shots with precision and defend himself from unnecessary damage.
Holding on to Canelo with a headlock, but that's what you have to do to frustrate the younger fighter.
Back against the ropes, comes out swinging, Canelo catches him clean again, and a fight is breaking out.
His ability to remain calm under pressure, even as a young fighter, separated him from his peers. By 2010, Canelo had already amassed a record of 33-0-1, showing his rapid ascent in the boxing world. Canelo's breakthrough came in 2011 when he defeated Matthew Hatton to capture the WBC Light Middleweight Title.
If he doesn't get a kick left out.
This victory marked the start of Canelo's journey to superstardom. With this win, Canelo proved that he could compete at the world level, and his blend of youth, power, and technique captivated boxing fans around the whole world. Following his first world title win, Canelo defended his belt against notable names like Shane Mosley, the former champion who was past his prime but still a dangerous opponent. The win against Mosley showcased Canelo's ability to adjust to different styles, particularly against experienced fighters. His bodywork and sharp counterpunching were already becoming signature elements of his game.
WBC Super Welterweight Champion.
During this phase of his career, Canelo was proving that he wasn't just a powerful puncher, he was a technician in the ring. His ability to systematically break down opponents, whether through headshots or body punches, showed his growing maturity. Arguably one of the most critical fights in Canelo's career came in 2013 when he faced the undefeated defensive genius Floyd Mayweather Jr. At the time, Canelo was 23 years old, and although he was already an accomplished fighter, Mayweather was in a different league. The fight was a significant event, billed as a clash between youth and experience, power and technique.
Now Mayweather beginning to tee off on Álvarez. Álvarez standing flat-foot on the ropes. The jab to the body. Look at this display.
Álvarez almost trying to play possum, but Floyd's not going to bite on that. He's not going to overcommit.
And now
Canelo's loss to Mayweather was a learning moment. Mayweather's impeccable defense and ring generalship frustrated Canelo, who struggled to land clean punches against the elusive veteran. However, instead of allowing the loss to derail his career, Canelo treated it as a valuable lesson. He used the experience to further refine his defense, movement, and patience.
Canelo trying to go on the attack. Oh, there's a right hand. And now Canelo just blitzing the body, but Mayweather coolly circles away from the ropes and pot shots.
Mayweather was known for his ability to make opponents look one-dimensional, but in defeat, Canelo found ways to evolve his style. After the fight, Canelo said that Mayweather's style forced him to rethink his approach to boxing.
And a true champion like Canelo, he can take a loss and bounce back.
From this point onward, Canelo's ability to adapt mid-fight became one of his greatest strengths, transforming him into a more complete and mature fighter. Canelo's true prime began shortly after his bout with Mayweather. As he moved up to the middleweight and super middleweight divisions, Canelo evolved into a more polished and versatile fighter. One of the highlights of this period was his knockout victory over Amir Khan in 2016. Khan, a fast and elusive boxer, was a tough challenge for Canelo. However, in the 6th round, Canelo delivered one of the most brutal knockouts of his career, showcasing his timing and power.
Oh, it certainly is now. Huge right hand, and Khan down. And is he going to get up? It doesn't look like it. I think it's all over right here. And referee Kenny Bayliss in the 6th round. The fight is all over. Huge right hand from Canelo, and Khan just about knocked cold.
Another significant moment came in his fight against Miguel Cotto in 2015. This bout for the middleweight championship was seen as a test of whether Canelo could beat a legendary fighter with superior experience. Canelo's victory over Cotto cemented his place among the sport's elite.
He's getting the better of him in every way right now. This is a very big round so far for Canelo. Now here comes Cotto, trying to reverse.
As he displayed his improved defense and counterpunching abilities against a seasoned warrior. Canelo's rivalry with Gennady Golovkin, GGG, marked one of the most anticipated chapters of his career. Golovkin was widely regarded as one of the most feared punchers in the sport, and the clash between the two was seen as a fight for middleweight supremacy. The first bout in 2017 ended in a controversial draw, with many believing Golovkin had done enough to win. However, Canelo's ability to absorb Golovkin's power and stand his ground showed his toughness and adaptability.
He gotta quit hiding behind the flag and fight Triple G.
In the rematch in 2018, Canelo fought more aggressively, taking the fight to Golovkin and showing a different side of his game. He didn't just counterpunch, he stood toe-to-toe with one of the most dangerous fighters in the world and won via majority decision. This victory was a defining moment in Canelo's career. It wasn't just about winning titles, it was about proving that he could overcome one of the most feared men in the division. The Golovkin bouts showcased Canelo's versatility. In the first fight, he focused on defense and counterpunching, while in the rematch, he adjusted to a more offensive game plan, showing the world that he could adapt to any style or situation. In his prime, Canelo Álvarez was the epitome of a complete fighter. His power was evident in his devastating body shots and knockout finishes, but it was his defensive evolution that truly separated him from other champions. After the Mayweather fight, Canelo incorporated head movement, footwork, and feints to avoid punches, while simultaneously positioning himself to counter with accuracy and force. His fight against Sergey Kovalev in 2019 for the WBO Light Heavyweight Title was a prime example of Canelo's growth as a tactical fighter. Despite facing a larger, more powerful opponent, Canelo was patient, breaking down Kovalev over several rounds before delivering a knockout in the 11th round. This victory earned Canelo a world title in yet another weight class, showcasing his ability to dominate across multiple divisions. What sets Canelo's prime apart from many other great fighters is his willingness to face the best opposition, regardless of weight class. Unlike some champions who sought easier fights to protect their records, Canelo consistently pursued the toughest challenges. From Danny Jacobs to Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant, Canelo faced and defeated top fighters across multiple divisions.
As you said it, he's been susceptible in the early going. He was hit right on the chin by Saúl Canelo Álvarez, and down he went. How about that?
In doing so, Canelo demonstrated his versatility and his readiness to adapt to any style, whether it was the slick boxing of Saunders or the power of Kovalev. Canelo's ability to continually evolve as a fighter, combined with his work ethic and dedication to his craft, is what made his prime so special. He wasn't content with just holding titles. He wanted to unify divisions and leave no doubt about who the best fighter in the world was. In his prime, Saúl Canelo Álvarez was more than just a great boxer. He was a generational talent, combining elite defense, surgical precision, knockout power, and unrivaled ring intelligence. His ability to dominate across 4 different weight classes and his willingness to fight the best, from Gennady Golovkin to Sergey Kovalev, solidified his legacy as one of the greatest fighters in modern boxing history. Canelo's prime was marked by his ability to not only win, but to evolve with each fight.
He's caught him with a left hand and his back.
Whether it was learning from his loss to Mayweather or outboxing the most dangerous men in the middleweight division, Canelo always found a way to improve. His prime years were not defined by individual victories, but by a sustained period of dominance that spanned multiple weight divisions. Ultimately, Canelo Álvarez's prime will be remembered as one of the greatest eras in boxing history, a time when he was virtually unbeatable and consistently raised the bar for what it meant to be a champion. His legacy is secure, and he will undoubtedly be remembered as one of the most complete fighters to ever step into the ring.
Canelo reminded him of that body shot and that pain.
His 50th fight ends in a world championship.